So obviously the next step after passing your life in the UK would obviously be your citizenship application. As of today, the current cost for the application for British citizenship, guys, is 1,349 and 20p, and that's just the application. Problem in all the feeling. Make you try to enjoy. Make we dance like Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for joining me once again back onto my channel. My name is Belinda, and if you've not already subscribed, please don't forget to press the subscribe button as well as turn on your notification bell so you get notification every time I upload. So as you read from the title of this video, guys, today I'm going to be showing you guys, or rather carrying you guys along with me while I do my step-for-step British citizenship, to be specific, application. I did do a video previously where I did let you guys know that I completed my life in the UK exam and I passed that. So obviously the next step after passing your life in the UK would obviously be your citizenship application. Okay, so what I'm going to do in this specific video, guys, is obviously I'm going to carry you guys along with me while I complete my application. Now I do want to put a disclaimer out there. Obviously I am personally completing this application by myself. I'm not getting any sort of immigration lawyer to complete my application for me. However, if you find it difficult, obviously it would be advisable to try and get some sort of an immigration advisor that will specifically help you guys out with your naturalization, or rather citizenship application. Okay, I'm going to show you guys how to apply for your British citizenship in 2022, guys, just so that you guys can have some sort of idea. So without any further ado, if you are interested, guys, please keep on watching. Now I think I've mentioned in my previous video that in order to qualify to apply for naturalization, or rather British citizenship, it's either going to be through two ways. Firstly, you need to have your indefinite leave to remain for a minimum of 12 months. Okay, in my previous video I did mention to you guys that I got my indefinite leave to remain, also known as my settled status, in May of 2020. Okay, and then obviously I've had it all through 2020 and 2021, which I should have actually applied for my citizenship a long time, but at that point in time, you know, there was a lot going on, so never mind, it is what it is. But that is the first way. All right, the second way is if you are going through a spouse. Okay, so if your spouse is British, the minute you obtain your indefinite leave, you can apply for citizenship. Now given that situation, that would be applicable to my partner. Once I get approved for my citizenship, obviously I get approved for my citizenship before him. He doesn't have to wait for a whole 12 months prior to applying. He can apply through me, because at that point in time I've got my British citizenship, if that makes any sense. So first things first, what we are going to do, guys, obviously I'm going to try and insert a screen of everything that I am doing so that you guys can have some sort of an idea as to what I'm doing. So obviously the first thing that you're going to do, standard, guys, is to go onto the Gov website, British citizenship. So it gives you various content. It says eligibility and fees, how to apply for your children after you've applied and after you get your certificate. So also it says there's obviously two ways. You can either apply for yourself, or you can get an agent or representative to apply for you. Like I did say, I'm personally applying for myself. I don't need an agent or an immigration lawyer, because I happen to believe I can read and understand the information. Okay, the standard time that they say it takes for your citizenship to get approved, if everything is in order, is about 6 months standard. Okay, sometimes it can take longer. Obviously it depends on your own individualized application, if that makes any sense. So there's two options. You can apply online or apply via post. For me personally, I'm doing it online. It's much more easier, and that way you can monitor your application. I feel like you can really monitor if you're going to post your application, so online is more advisable. So this Gov website, guys, I'm going to leave it down in the description box below. So if you are in the process, or you are soon to be applying for your British citizenship, you can have some sort of idea in regards to where you're heading when it comes to this application. So as you guys can see, the first step is step 1 started, which is obviously verification of your email. So obviously I'm going to go ahead and start my application. First things first, I'm going to do is obviously sign in, enter my password and sign in. So you have to create a password, start your process for your British citizenship. So in this case it's applicants. So I am the applicant, so it would say apply for naturalization as a British citizen, Miss Belinda, which would be me. Okay, So I'm going to say answer questions about this applicant. So we're going to go ahead and provide your telephone number. So obviously it says provide your telephone numbers, which I'm going to go ahead and put my telephone numbers in. All right. And then also I'm going to say I can be contacted whilst in the UK. Okay, I'm going to save and continue that. And then it's going to say, obviously, provide your postal address. So I'm going to go ahead and put my current address in where I am living here in the UK. Okay, so when that's done, we're going to move on to the next. So obviously you're going to have to put in from which date you started living at this specific address. And then I'm going to save and continue. Current address is next. What are they saying? Have you lived at your current address for more than 5 years? In my case, the answer to that is no. And then obviously I'm going to go ahead and put in where my previous address was before that. So the bottom line is, wherever you are staying, you need to be able to sum it up for 5 years. Any sort of communication from home office is going to go to that specific direct address that you have indicated on here. So it is very, very important to remember that. So obviously in my case, I'm going to put 5 years home address history. Okay, so you need to add another address from the last 5 years. The answer to that question is no, because this address and my previous address equivalent of 5 years of addresses, if that makes any sense. So next is citizenship ceremony. Okay, this is obviously if you do get approved, where would you like to attend your citizenship ceremony? So in my case, I'm going to probably go for Leicestershire because I'm familiar with Leicestershire. I've went to university in Leicester, so I am going to choose Leicestershire. So I'm going to save and continue that. What's next? So next is your sex and relationship status. So my sex is obviously female. My relationship status as of this point in time is single. So when I say single, it means I'm unmarried as of this point in time. I am getting married in the next 3 months. So obviously if my application by then has not been approved yet, I will have to contact home office and let them know that my status has changed and I am now married. Okay, but for now, until me and my partner have legally signed on paper, I am single according to the court of law. All right, so I'm gonna put there single. So next, guys, after that, I'm gonna go ahead and save it and continue my application. Alright, so next is EEA national, which would be me. Are you either an EEA national or Swiss national, a family member of an EEA or Swiss national? So in my case, I am a Swiss national, so I'm going to go ahead and press yes. Will you use your indefinite leave to remain granted? Yes, I am. When my leave was granted, so this information, obviously, if you go to your indefinite leave, either letter or email, whichever one they sent you, you're going to get the date from the time that they have granted you your indefinite leave. So I'm going to obviously go and open my email and have a look at when I got approved for my indefinite leave, the exact date, and I'm going to go ahead and enter that. So next question is, have you held ESO indefinite? You're another spouse of a civil? No, I'm not. So I'm going to go ahead and save and continue. Permanent residence card, guys. So do you have a permanent residence card? For me, in that case, I don't have a permanent resident card prior to obtaining my indefinite leave to remain. So I'm a Swiss national, so I use my Swiss national to live in the UK and work in the UK and study in the UK. All right, so in that case, for me, the answer to that is going to be no. So I'm going to go ahead and continue that, guys. So this application, guys, if you really take your time and you really read it thoroughly, unless English is not a language that you understand. However, if you do understand English and your application is not complex, when I say complex, I'm talking about the 10-year route, then in that case, I would advise you to do it yourself, because at the end of the day, why would you go ahead and pay a lawyer to do it for you when you can just take the time to actually sit at home and do it independently, just not rushing through the whole thing, just taking your time, if you get what I'm saying. So next step, guys, is your nationality, country, and date of birth. So the country of nationality, country of birth, place of birth, and date of birth. So in my case, because I already hold dual nationality, I'm going to say country of nationality, I'm going to put Swiss. So Switzerland is going to be my country of nationality. So I'm just going to go ahead and type that in. Yeah, there it is. Switzerland is my country of nationality, and country of birth would be South Africa because I was born in South Africa. So that is it. Place of birth, obviously, it's going to be Johannesburg, South Africa, and obviously date of birth, I'm going to blur that out because that is irrelevant to you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and save that as well and go on to my next application. So I'm just having a look if everything is correct. Switzerland, South Africa, Johannesburg, and my date of birth is correct as well. It's always good to double check your answers, you know what I'm saying? But hopefully at the end we can edit any answers that we can edit. Next is your passport. So my passport in this case is Switzerland. Do you have a valid passport? The answer to that is yes. I'm going to go ahead and enter my passport number, which I know up here. Alright, so obviously you guys don't need to see that. Issuing authority, where was your passport issued? So country of issue or place of issue, it really depends what your passport is saying. Okay, so I'm going to obviously add issue date, and then I'm also going to add expiry date. Very important things as well. So I'm going to go ahead and save and continue, guys. We are still on step 2, guys. We're getting there. So next is your identity card. Switzerland, do I have an ID card, a Swiss ID card? Guys, this is for me, my personal application, guys. Once again, the answer to that question is no, because I don't have the card. I only have my passport. So I'm going to go ahead and continue. Next is, do you currently hold or have ever held any other nationalities? Now, I did specify to you guys once again that I already have dual citizenship, a South African passport as well as a Swiss passport. So in my case, the answer to that is yes. So I'm going to go ahead and enter my South African passport details, if that's what they need. So country of other nationality, in my case, country is South Africa. So date I held it from, obviously, would be from the time I was born, and whether I still hold the nationality. And the answer to that question is yes, I still hold my South African citizenship at this current point in time. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. So details of other nationality, they say, do you have a valid passport? Which I have. I have to enter my South African passport number, issuing authority, issue date, the same as I did for my Swiss passport. So if you have multiple nationalities, you're going to go ahead and do the same process of obviously entering your nationality, when you got your nationality, expiry date of your passport, when was it issued, that kind of information. So in this case, they're asking me, do you have a valid national ID? In this case, South African one, I have an ID card because it's a mandatory requirement to have as a South African citizen. So it does say issue date, okay, if applicable, and expiry date if applicable. So your South African ID, according to my knowledge, does not expire. So in that case, I'm not going to fill anything in for this specific information. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and save. Next is your national insurance number, which is obviously what you have here in the UK. If you did move to the UK, you need to have a national insurance number. Your national insurance number is tied to everything related to you, whether it is healthcare, work, university, you need to have a national insurance number. So I'm going to go ahead and fill that out. Next is life in the UK. Have you passed the life in the UK exam? In my case, I did do a full video. I'll leave it somewhere up here as well as down in the description box for you guys to have a look. If you are interested, you cannot apply for your British citizenship if you did not pass the life in the UK exam. That is rule number 1. So I did pass my life in the UK exam, and I did mention in that specific video that I will need a reference. So I will try and insert it somewhere here. When you have passed, they give you a reference number. That specific reference number is what you're going to now go ahead and enter in this box, okay, for them to verify you. So in my case, I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to go ahead, press save and continue. Next, guys, is, do you have a previous visa entry, clearance, or leave to remain where you had to prove your knowledge of English? In my case, no, I don't have. The next part, guys, is where you have to prove what you have. So did you meet the knowledge of English requirement as part of your indefinite leave to remain? So either qualification at B1. So it says that if this qualification was not used and accepted for the settlement status application, it cannot be used for this application. So for me personally, I have not applied for either a level B1 or English language qualification. So for me, this is not applicable. If you did complete the B1 or your English language qualification, then you're obviously going to have to answer it differently. So that's that, guys. And then I'm going to obviously save and continue. So the next part is English language degree taught in English. So do you have a degree that was taught in English? The answer to that for me is yes, obviously. I've got my nursing degree, and the country that I went to is the United Kingdom. Okay, so do we have that here somewhere? Yes, the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. So that would be what would be applicable for me. So I'm going to go ahead and save and continue with that one as well. So next step is the proof of your degree. So if you answered yes to the previous question that you have got a degree and you did obtain your degree in the UK, you need to prove it. So obviously that is either your transcript or your actual certificate. So in my case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the official transcript. Okay, because I've got that as evidence. If they did request for it as proof of evidence, I can be able to submit that. All right, so obviously that's that. So give details about your first parent. So you're going to go ahead and enter your family's name, so your mother or father's name. So there is information there. What if I do not have my parents' details? So If you don't have your adequate information from your parents, so either your mother or your father or either parent, you can go ahead and click that for further information, and then they will expand what's the next step. However, in my case, obviously I've got my parents' details, so obviously they request both name and surname of your parent, date of birth, town that they were born, as well as their nationality. So in my case, both my parents have the same nationality as me, both South African as well as Swiss. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And so next is conviction and other penalties. So this one is where you need to read it properly, because according to my knowledge, most people who are declined or rejected, rather, that's the correct word to use, British citizenship is mainly because of this area, because either you hold a criminal conviction, you know, anything that reflects some sort of bad character on your behalf. So in my case, they say at any time have you ever had any of the following in the UK or in any other country. So that is your conviction, penalty offense, arrested, etc, etc. So you can go ahead and decide which one is applicable for you guys. However, in my case, no, so I'm going to go ahead and skip that. So next is of sex offenders register, which once again is not applicable to me. However, like I said to you guys, circumstances vary. So, you know, the best thing for you to do is to be as honest as you possibly can in your application, because at the end of the day, there's no point lying on your application, because it's going to come back to you, and, you know, you're going to have to answer the questions eventually. Anyway, moving on. So non-applying dependents. So do you have any dependents not applying with you at this point in time? So that would be either whether you've got a partner, husband, wife that's applying with you, or kids rather. Then you're going to go ahead and press yes, and obviously go ahead and further fill out the information required or requested of you. However, in my case at this point in time, it is no. Okay, I'm only applying for me, myself, and I. Next is terrorist activities. If you've got any, obviously in my case, once again, that is no. Okay, so next is your referee list. Okay, so my advice to anybody who is going to be filling out the citizenship application is already to have some sort of knowledge who your referee are going to be. So you need to have 2 referees. Okay, I'm going to create a separate video in regards to a referee, because you need to understand and have some sort of knowledge for it. But for this now, I'm just going to go ahead and fill out my 2 referee lists. Obviously, when that's done, I'm going to go ahead and save it. The next section, guys, is your biometric resident permit. Okay, so for me in this case, I don't have a biometric resident permit, so in my case I'm going to say no. So whichever one is applicable to you. So if you do not understand whether this is applicable for you, there is a further information that you can read. So you can read information about what it is, if it's applicable to you, etc, etc, etc. However, in my case, like I said, it's not applicable to me. So firstly, I'm going to say no, I do not have a BRP for my recent leave. And secondly, I'm going to say no to do you have a BRP from a previous stay in the UK? And the answer to that is no, I don't have. So next question is, have you made any previous UK immigration applications in the UK or abroad? This includes application for asylum in the UK. So in my case, obviously, I'm going to say no as well. So guys, I am switching between my laptop and my phone because my laptop is giving me a bit of issues. It's a bit slow, so I'm going to complete the rest of my application on the phone. Alright, is have you been married or in a civil partnership? Once again, for me, that is no, because I'm not legally married as yet. So next is your current employment. So this is basically where you're going to add all your employment history, your current employment, your past employment. In my case, obviously, what's your occupation? I'm going to put there registered nurse. And yeah, so the next question is, have you had any work over the past 10 years since you've been in the UK? And this is the part where you're going to go ahead and enter all your employment history. So from the time you came into the UK, once I've finished that, I'm going to obviously save it, guys. Guys, this is a very long application, so you really need to take your time. Okay, next is details of trips outside the UK. So this basically makes reference to any trips or countries you've visited since you've come into the UK. So basically, you need to include every single trip you took, when obviously you need to specify the reason as to why you took these trips. You have to also put in the dates that you left and the date that you actually came back. Okay, and that also needs to reflect in your passport or any sort of supporting document that you are going to submit. Do you need to add any more trips outside the UK? For me, no, I've added everything that I needed to add. That then it's main home in the UK. So it's, do you plan for your main home to be in the UK if your application is successful? Of course, the answer to the question is yes. You don't want to say no, because chances are if you do say no, they're going to reject you, because what's the point of giving you citizenship if you are not going to stay in the UK? All right. Next is residence requirements, so you can read through all of that. So in my case, obviously, I'm just going to say I do meet these requirements because I've not been out of the UK for more than 450 days in the last 5 years. Okay, so you're gonna, if you really want to understand this, guys, you need to read that and make sense if it's applicable to you or not. Okay, because there's a lot of rules and regulations about how long you can be out of the UK before applying for citizenship, whether you will be eligible for applying for citizenship, etc, etc, etc. Next is special circumstances. Are there any reason why you cannot meet the requirement to become a British citizen? In my case, it's no. If you do not meet the British citizen, are there any special circumstances why you think Home Office should still grant you your application? So going on after that, you can say other information. Do you have any other details you would like to consider regarding this application to be registered as a British citizen? And my answer to that question is no. So that's that. So you can go ahead and check your answers. So next, guys, step 3 of 6, guys, is documents. So this is basically the checklist, guys, that they will give you once you've completed your step 1 and step 2. This is basically the checklist when you do upload your documents on the UK VCAS. These are the documents that is mandatory for your application. Now, my application and your application obviously is not the same. All our applications vary from application to application. However, in my application, this is the information that they're looking for. So they are looking for my Swiss passport, they're looking for my university and transcript, they're looking for my indefinite leave to remain, I believe, proof that I've been living in the UK for the last 5 years, and then obviously the 2 referee declaration forms that I have added them on my referee list. So these are the providing documents that they would require me to submit once I have completed this form and have paid for the application. So anyway, just for a quick reference, guys, I'm going to show you guys how the referee application list looks like. So I've downloaded it, but this is how it looks like. So it says referee and identity, and this is just 2 pages basically that you have to give to your referee. Okay, like I said, I'm going to create a different video after this video in regards to everything you need to know about your referee when completing your British citizenship application. So the next step, guys, is the declaration, which is step 4 of 6. It says that you are declaring that you are the applicant and all information that you have obviously submitted is true. All right, so obviously you're going to go ahead and check your answers, and then you can change it before submitting your application. Very important, guys. Always make sure you check your answers. And then step 5, guys, which is choose a service that we're going to use. So select a service from the options below. You will not be able to change this after you have submitted your application. Well, I basically only have one. All right, one service. So that one is standard service, which is the pay. So this is how much the British citizenship application currently costs. As of today, the current cost for the application for British citizenship, guys, is 1,349.20p, and that's just the application. In addition to that, this option includes the £19.20 biometric enrollment fee that is required when you are sending your application through to the UK VCAS. So before paying, I would advise you to go over your application a couple of times just so you make sure that you have all the necessary information. All right, that's very important. So that's what they say. Before you continue, you should only move to the next page if you have checked all your answers and you already submitted the application. So in my case, guys, before submitting this online, all right, I'm going to go back and reread the application, make sure that all the information that I have submitted is correct, because that £1,349.20 is a lot of money to pay just for your application not to be accurate. All right, so guys, that is the end of this video, guys. I hope you like this video, guys, and I hope you found this video useful and sort of understanding in regards to your step-for-step British citizenship application in 2022. All right, I did mention to you guys before, if you are unable to complete this application independently, it would be advisable for you to get an immigration lawyer or somebody that can help you. Me personally, like I said to you guys, I have completed this application on my own because I can understand and comprehend the kind of information that they are asking. Okay, so yes, guys, this is my step 2 of my British citizenship application. Like I told you guys, I am creating a series on this channel. Any questions that you would like me to answer, please don't forget to comment down below. You can also find me on Instagram if you've not already been following me on Instagram, and I can answer any sort of direct messages to you guys. So yes, guys, I hope you like this video. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will hopefully see you guys in my next video. Bye.